Forget everything you think you know about cold. During the peak of the last ice age, the last glacial maximum, around 20,000 years ago, glaciers blanketed huge swaths of North America, Europe, and Asia. Temperatures in some areas plummeted to -50 degrees centigrade, -58 Fahrenheit, even during daylight. There were no insulated homes or jackets, just crude shelters and animal skins. If you didn't keep moving, you died. Frostbite didn't wait hours, it hit in minutes. Life was brutal. Caves were rare and often occupied by predators like bears or big cats. Early humans wandered treacherous snow-covered terrain, hunted not only by hunger, but by creatures like saber-toothed cats, dire wolves, and short-faced bears. Roads, maps, and safety nets didn't exist. Even breathing the thin, icy air was painful. But the cold was only part of the nightmare. Starvation was constant. There were no meals unless you earned them. Hunting meant life or death. If it moved and you could kill it, you ate it. Frozen meat, raw fat, bone marrow. Going days without food wasn't rare, it was expected. Humans lived in tiny, isolated groups. No hospitals, no support systems. A broken bone or infection could end your life. Even childbirth was a gamble. Water sources were frozen, so every drink required fire and time. Sleep offered no relief. Predators and storms were constant threats. Shelter ranged from wind-blocking rocks to bone and fur huts. The Ice Age wasn't just harsh, it was engineered by nature to destroy the unprepared. Yet, against all odds, our ancestors endured, not because they were stronger, but because they had no other choice. Modern life is a padded cell, safe, temperature-controlled, and full of conveniences that have numbed our survival instincts. Where our ancestors battled nature daily, we crumble when the AC breaks or the Wi-Fi lags. They skinned animals to stay warm in -50 degrees wind. We complain if our heated blankets stop working. Wet socks are now a crisis. Food? We've forgotten what real hunger feels like. Ice Age humans didn't eat for taste, they ate to live. Fat and marrow were survival staples. Meanwhile, we lose our minds over a wrong coffee order. Physical effort is optional now. Our ancestors walked miles daily, lifted, hunted, built. Today, a fitness app gives us a badge for doing what they did before breakfast. And it's not just our bodies that have softened, it's our instincts. The average person today couldn't survive a single night in the wild without a phone or Google. We've replaced hardwired survival intelligence with apps and YouTube tutorials. We don't know the stars, edible plants, or how to make shelter. Worse, we panic fast. One missed text feels like a breakdown. Imagine losing your tribe in a blizzard, hearing wolves closing in. Pain used to be part of life. Frostbite, childbirth, broken bones, all endured without complaint. Now, a headache earns a day off and a wellness blog post. We've built a world that erases struggle, and in doing so, we've dulled the very traits that kept our species alive. The Ice Age didn't reward comfort, it rewarded grit, and most of us have never truly had to find out if we still have it. Surviving the Ice Age wasn't luck, it was raw ingenuity, grit, and unbreakable community. In a world when nature was constantly trying to kill you, Ice Age humans adapted with creative brilliance. Fire was everything. Heat, safety, cooking, tool-making. No matches or lighters, just flint, pyrite, and skill. Starting a fire took patience and technique, but once lit, it became the heartbeat of survival. Around it, they shaped tools, not just crude rocks, but advanced weapons like the atlat, which amplified hunting power. They carved bone needles, stitched fur clothing with sinew, and built insulated homes out of mammoth bones and hides. No trees? No problem. They used what they hunted. They moved strategically, tracking animal migrations, reading weather signs, and planning nomadic paths to stay near food sources. These weren't mindless grunts. They were highly adapted innovators, working with nothing but the land and their instincts. But survival didn't come from tools alone. It came from tribe. Living alone was a death sentence. Small clans functioned like machines where every person mattered. Roles were clear: hunters, firekeepers, toolmakers, elders. Oral knowledge passed down crucial survival wisdom, the kind that kept people alive. Trust wasn't emotional, it was life or death. If one person failed their role, everyone suffered. Even the injured were cared for, not out of sentiment, but survival necessity. Every life had value because every skill was vital. We survived not because we were the strongest, but because we innovated, adapted, and, above all, stood together. No phones, no tech, just pure human resilience and the power of community. Drop the average modern human into the Ice Age, no gear, no guidance, and they wouldn't last a day. No fire, no food, no clue what's safe to eat, how to build shelter, or how to fend off predators. Worse, they lack the mental toughness to handle the sheer terror of being totally vulnerable. Fear would break most long before the cold did. Let's say someone got lucky, found warmth or shelter. Survival still demands skill. You'd need to track animals, read wind and snow, kill with a handmade spear, and carve up meat without cutting yourself. Even drinking stream water could mean deadly infection. One twisted ankle, game over. No ER, no help, no second chances. But here's the twist. Those Ice Age survival instincts, they're not extinct, they're dormant. Modern life has dulled them, but they're still inside us, waiting. With training, fire-making, foraging, shelter building, something ancient stirs. Pain sharpens, hunger focuses, fear turns into drive. The body and brain begin to adapt quickly and powerfully. Biology hasn't changed. Cold exposure, fasting, and physical hardship activate the same genetic switches our ancestors relied on. Under pressure, our survival brain takes over. We stop scrolling and start surviving. So yes, thrown in cold, we die fast. But with preparation, some of us could reawaken what we've lost. The real challenge isn't can we survive? It's would we choose to? The Ice Age didn't reward the strongest. It rewarded the ones who adapted. And if we're willing to trade comfort for resilience, maybe, just maybe, we'd make it. So here we are, thousands of years removed from the Ice Age, wrapped in comfort, scrolling glass screens, sipping machine-brewed coffee. But under the hood, We are still the descendants of survivors, hunters, fire starters, bone breakers, people who didn't just live through hell, they outsmarted it with grit, instinct, and tribe. We like to think we've evolved. Maybe we've just forgotten. The Ice Age didn't care about your job title, social media clout, or 5-year plan. It stripped everything down to one brutal question. Can you adapt, or will you freeze? And maybe it's time we start asking that again. Not as a fantasy, but as a wake-up call.